We're installing a 5-panel operable wall. The first thing we're going to do is take out panel 1. This is the panel that will be connected to the wall, and then panel 3, 4 and 5 will simply be hinged onto the next panel. So we've got panel 1 here, and it'll say 1W. This is the end with the wall mounts, and you'll see that the brackets are already in the partition. Once you've identified the wall bracketed side of panel 1, we then are going to put the bracket in the top part of the panel so that we can line it up against the wall. And with the bottom one, we can go, it's already cut to size, we can go and drill that straight into the wall, and I'll show you how now. Okay, we're putting our bottom wall mount bracket into position. This is already made to size, so as long as there is pressure downwards here, if you're on carpet, make sure that you've given some downward pressure before lining up, and then you can drill straight into your post. There are 5 holes there. You typically won't need 5. It's not stopping, it's not weight bearing, it's only stopping lateral movement. Now that we've got our bottom bracket into position, we're going to lift panel 1, line up the bottom bracket. We've already put our top bracket in the top part of panel 1, so that'll give us our measurement to draw our line, and then we can move it out of the way, drill off the bracket, and then finally fix panel 1 into position, and then we can start hinging panel 2, 3, 4 and 5. This is the bracket side. Now that we know our bottom bracket is in the right position at the right height, we move the panel into its exact position in between the brackets, as you can see. And then I'm going to go to the top and I'm going to measure my top bracket to know I get it at the right height before I drill it off. All I'm doing here is putting the top bracket into position so that I know I've got my height right. And I'm marking my spot on the wall like this. Then I'm going to move the partition out, both at the top and the bottom, and move the panel away so I can go ahead and drill this off. Now that we've marked the position and we've moved the panel away, I'm just going to drill in the top wall bracket exactly where I've marked. Now we get to move panel 1 back into position and secure them to the wall mount. So line up the bolt with the hole in the top and the bottom. This welded nut is already threaded, so you will go straight through it and through the hole. Now that we've attached that, we can move into panel 2, which we will hinge to panel 1. So now I've got panel 2, and I'm going to put it hard up against panel 1. Only thing I need to double check is that I line the green up with the green and the orange up with the orange. Now that we've got 1 and 2 together, you'll find that there are 2 tags. These make a joint, they'll make a hinge. B being bottom, T being top. So we move that into position and we slide the pin all the way in. The bottom 4mm of the bottom tag is actually threaded. There's an Allen key in your kit just to simply turn that to make sure that that pin can't be released. Once you've got 3 or 4 threads through, you don't need to come all the way out of the bottom. In fact, make sure you don't over tighten because this needs to pivot. So just as long as that has been secured by the bottom 3 threads, then that's plenty. And we do that in either the 3 or 4 hinges depending on the height. This is a 3-metre wall and has 3 hinges. So you'll just do exactly the same thing in the middle hinge, the bottom hinge, and we'll go up the top and do the top hinge, and that joins 1 and 2 together. Once we've tightened all the hinges joining 1 and 2, we're going to go and grab number 3, which is going to hinge at the other side. Having done panel 1, 2 and 3, we're just going to do exactly the same thing for panel 4 and 5. Make sure the green's in line with the green, and then once in position, have your tag T is top, B is bottom, and drop the pin through. On your last panel, it doesn't have 2 wheels because this is where we're joining the end panel, which does have wheels. So just make sure you're holding it for stability because it just won't move as easily as the other ones, which have 2 wheels, one on either side. This only has 1 wheel. Now unbox your end panel, and this is the one that will sit perpendicular to your last panel for stability. When you take it out of the box, you'll notice at the top and the bottom you have 2 sliders that go either side. So we want to take these bolts out. This is your end panel bracket. You'll have 2 of those in there. You are putting them in position. Notice there's a black line that marks the center of the panel, and there's a black line here that marks the center of the bracket. So we are simply lining those two up. Now you can just get your screws a little bit in if you like. Just 1 or 2 turns to start with, because we're going to then we've still got a bit of movement to make sure that we're perfectly aligned. And you can see we can move a bit until we're perfectly aligned, and once we're happy, we screw that off. But all that's measured for you. You're simply, in basic terms, you're taking out the bolts, putting the bracket in position and putting them back in again. Now we're going to turn it over because I just want to show you how this is now going to attach to the main panel. You'll see here you've got 2 bolts that are quite loose. Make sure they are loose enough not to be protruding on the other side. You need full clearance because this is going to slide into your panel 5. And then once we're in there, this is what's going to secure it for us. So this is too far to start with. Just have it in position and a bit loose like that to start with. So we can easily slide this into the top panel without anything protruding, and then we will tighten it off once we're in position. But in simple terms, this is going to go into our end panel, our last panel on the partition, which we'll show you now. We've got all of our 5 panels together. All that's left to do is put the end panel on. That is going to slide perpendicular straight into the top and the bottom of panel 5. Right, push from that side. Can you put corner to corner? That's it, keep pushing. That's it. Now that we've put all the panels together and we've connected our end panel, which is our stabiliser, we're ready to use the wall. And folding away is just as easy. This is a 3 metre height. We go all the way up to a 3.6 metre height. You can pick any panel combination you want by way of colour, and they're all custom built within 2 days.